Good afternoon and welcome to the expansion of consciousness. I'm your host, Jason Medlock, and it is exciting to be with you again on another episode. We're going to have a fabulous guest that will be with us today. And it's just a wonderful time to be alive, a wonderful time to, realize that I am, realize the person that you become and the person that you will be coming into the new year. And I'm excited for each and every one of you that have listened to the expansion of consciousness and have tried to glean from every guest that we've had on the show this year to try to infuse whatever you could into your own personal life. This is why I do the show. I do the show to help uplift. I do the show to give nuggets of aspiration and to demystify so many different concepts that are out there about meditation, about mindset performance, about changing your habits, about your dreams, things that you don't necessarily want to share with other people, things that happen to you, things that you see, things that you hear, and you're like, is that woo-woo? I mean, what is this stuff? But there are a lot of special gifts that God has given us. There are a lot of things that people hold within that trouble them every day doing their work life, their family life. So the expansion of consciousness provides a number of different tools, a number of different toolage manuals, notes, speakers, guests that can help you on your journey. But today, Aundrea Sides joins us. Deep into the extraordinary world of Aundrea Sides. She's a luminary figure in psychic mastery. From a young age, Aundrea discovered her innate connection to the universe, own energies that envelop our existence. Her journey of self-discovery led her to embrace a formidable array of psychic gifts, earning her a reputation as a true oracle of the unseen. Aundrea's clairvoyance paints the canvas of time with visions that pierce the veil of reality, offering seekers profound glimpses into the past, present, and future. As a compassionate medium, she bridges the realm of providing solace and message from the spirit world. Aundrea's mastery over telekinesis, remote viewing, and healing showcases a profound understanding of metaphysical forces that shape our lives. Guided by celestial insights, she is a beacon in wisdom and empowerment, drawing seekers from all corners in their quest for enlightenment and connection to the metaphysical tapestry of existence. I am so happy to invite our guest, Aundrea Sides. Aundrea, how are you doing?
Take myself off mute. I am wonderful, Jason. Thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. I love it. Thank you so much. I am just I love the space filling up with your already pre-done, like your show about expansiveness. And so I am just filling in with everything that you've already pre-paved for the show and who you are and your message. And I think you're a guy that really likes to get stuff done in a really quick amount of time and like quantum time. And I'm loving the energy that you are creating and bringing forth for people to experience this expansion, these realms, the power of the people, the power that we have within. Like, I really feel that from you, and kudos to you. It's just a nice place to step into your realm here. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going. Let me get my PayPal out so I can send you the money for that. But thank you. And we have a lot to talk about. And I know that you have a show that you do with your co-host, but we have a lot to talk about. And I'm sure in our conversation, people will learn how you started, but I want to kind of jump right into it because I have so many questions and so many things that I would like to ask. Reading your bio and then, studying up on you, Aundrea, your journey suggests a profound connection with the universe's energies, from an early age. Could you
Mm,
share the moment you realized that you had psychic abilities,
mm.
and how did you realize this impacted your personal development?
I love it. It's so funny when I was first starting out and I was first explaining my bio or like where I came from. The more that we grow and the more that we expand, this changes. And it also changes on who you're speaking to and an audience that you're speaking because I'm always in this place of unconditional love and like this oneness
Um,
consciousness. And I remember from the womb coming in, and I just thought people loved. I didn't know. And when we're a baby and we come in and we're pure source energy, and I remember being a little kid, being rambunctious, always getting into things, always, I had a whole world inside of me that was first. And then the exterior was relevant. I just thought that everybody could do this. I believe that we do this when we're young, but we forget bits and pieces. So when I connected with people, I remember going around and I was one of those children that I saw the pain in people and I just wanted to come over and hug them, or I would and little bit by little bit as time goes on, there's two things that I've learned upon my path. And what happens as I was coming into contact with more and more people, there was a fine line that started to get very muddy. And that was, what are other people's emotions and their life experiences and what is mine? I didn't
yes.
have any filters and I took on the world. Now I'm doing stuff for people and I'm getting chills all over my body. I'm doing stuff and I know how to put people in the light. I know how to keep myself in the light. I know how to decipher. And sometimes I'm challenged every now and then with things and I have to really, and all that is a cue, go deeper. There's something there. Go deeper. So go deeper, whatever this person is mirroring. And if you're finding some enmeshment, there is healthy oneness consciousness and enmeshment. So, anyways, I became enmeshed. And as a teenager, I started to rebel.
Oh yeah.
I tried to do the institutions. I tried to do the religion. Well, kind of the religion. My family wasn't really, but I could see it all around and I could see the struggle and Hmm, I could see how the schooling was repressing people. And then when I was in school, that kind of enmeshment did not feel good to me. It felt repressive. It felt very repressive, where I was looking at everybody and I would look around and I would see them just regurgitating everything else that they had been learning and everything that they had been taught. And I would see an underneath, I don't know how to see, like, current, like, aren't we supposed to be like getting creative and having fun with this? Like, okay, let's take this and I can understand learning something, but can we build upon what I'm feeling or I'm seeing inside what already exists? Instead of learning
Mm.
and learning and learning, where the vibration, I just felt this suppression. I felt this lower conscious. Well, now I know what this is. It's a lower frequent, lower consciousness to reform, to do what everybody else is doing. And I'm telling you, Jason, I wasn't the most liked person. I wasn't the best behaved person that was in class. If I they gave me a chance to, to do something in class, like the best tie even, or whatever that it was, I did it. I did it flamboyantly. I wanted to come in, like, whether it be like a clown, or I would make fun. I remember getting in trouble with the teachers, coming in and mimicking what they were doing and like dressing like them when they, had dress up day or something like that. And I remember at a very early age, when I was like in third grade or so, that the teacher could not get me to do like the final tests and things like that. So she said, Andrea, why don't you act them out and show us what you've learned? So I would get the whole class going, and I would tell them to go over there and go over here, and then I would get them creatively involved. And I would put on a whole play for the test taking, and that was really cool. Or I was just like so bored out of my mind, and I wasn't mean to anybody. It's not that I got kicked out of class for, or expelled for, hurting people or doing things like that. I was just very expressive, as you can see. I'm
Uh,
very much like that now. I was full of energy. I was full of vitality, full of power.
wow.
And my teachers used to tell me to rub instead. There's two teachers that did this. One of my third grade teacher, she came and she said, "You know what, Andrea, instead of doing that and taking can you come and just rub my back for me?" Every time you rub, and so I would go, and nowadays we'd probably report the teacher for something like this, right? We probably would. But I would go and I would rub her shoulders, and I would automatically feel where she was really tense, and I would touch like a knot, and I would do, and it would be gone. And then I would go like up, and then I would start doing like over in her head, and she would just, you could see the whole classroom. Let Andrea go ahead and massage the teacher. She's so much
Right,
happier
right,
after she
right.
does. So these
But you were
kinds of
realizing your ability and how it impacted others.
Well, I didn't. I really didn't know, because I was so starting to get enmeshed, in all honesty, Jason, that at that
Uh-huh,
point it was
uh-huh.
more about people pleasing. And won't you like me because I feel so different? I feel so different than a lot of other people. And I'm starting to realize that I wanted to people please. And I just really wanted, it was starting to become a little diluted, but I always wanted to help. I always really wanted the best for everybody, and for people to feel their creative juices, their inner world, like honor their inner world. Because to me, and I've in the last especially 5 to 10 years, and it's just getting more and more and more. Like I had this, like when somebody would say something to me and they needed help, I would see like a cartoon or a movie in my head, or something that would come from another. It wasn't another realm. It was inside of me. It was the universal wisdom that is all wisdoms, that I was able to um, get a little piece from this person, and a little piece, and then with my observation and my intention of pure love, because it really has to do with how pure that you are, with your unconditional love, and how much you really do want light and love for another human being, that impacts that power too. That observation becomes more clear, and that person feels even lighter. Sometimes we want, Jason, sometimes we even want, and probably our audience connects to this too, that we want betterment for a certain individual or a group or the world than it does itself sometimes. And that's
So,
what expands it. Yes. Go ahead.
wow. But
Yeah.
so your reputation as an oracle of the unseen is just so fascinating. How do you describe the experiences of tapping into the unseen energies? And what kind of advice would you have for those skeptical, I can't say talk today, or wishing to open themselves up to such experiences that you've had?
Yeah. So the very first thing with Vitality Unleashed, I actually show people how to reach their truth. Now, people think that truth is subjective. That is because that we have been let down by all the outer truths. So we don't know what to trust and what not to trust. But when you start paying attention, like we have our name, we have our own frequency, we have our own signature. And when we start exploring and asking ourselves questions about life inside instead of asking for outside, just asking yourself questions, the soul lights up. The connection wants to come in stronger. So you have to get rid of, unfortunately, there's a lot of layers. So we go through 5 different modules that actually help people, like victim consciousness, anything with self-judgment and the inner critic, things like that. Taking our, our empowerment and owning our empowerment. Anywhere that we feel we are jealous or that we are trying to fight with the Joneses, the outside world, instead of trying to create and appease to the outside world, to be able to pause and ask yourself, who am I? Am I? I am, and be able to still yourself or sometimes you don't even have to do meditation, sometimes just the inner curiosity of asking yourself these questions and then see how that it feels in the body and start bringing awareness. You think about all the directions that we're going for family and friends and jobs and things that already exist on the outside world that we're giving attention to, that is already manifested. It has already been created, it's already been manifested, and we're giving our attention to something that already is manifested. And that sucks our power, that takes our vitality. But when we come from our inside and we start cultivating, I'm talking even 10%, Jason, in our audience, I'm talking about 10% of the day, to be able to start cultivating, asking yourself questions, starting to connect with your inner light, or be curious like you are, to be kid like, to be curious
Yes.
about who you are and what you can love everybody. Okay, so an example, we love our
Yes.
kids. We love our kids or other people or people, right? Or we love our kids just for the joy of them breathing. Now, ask yourself, do you do that for yourself? Like when you breathe, are you able to feel that same sense of being alive, having life force pulsate through your body, to feel chills, to be able to connect, to feel light sometimes versus heavy? Or is your mind screwing itself literally with all the thoughts and everything that is already existing and that you have to do and what you must do and all these other things? So this makes us very tired. And I will tell you, if you don't start cultivating and people don't start cultivating their own frequency and becoming aware of who they are, our life shortens. Mm. And other people will take that power. They will take that power. And there's frequencies, and I'm not even going to go there. Maybe Jason, you and I will talk about it some, but there's other frequencies out there that are unseen that people don't even know about. They can't even deal with what's going right here. But there's other frequencies that want to keep our power down. And we're starting to wake up in the world right now to understand the structure of things and how that is affecting us. So if you give your attention to the news and what's not working, you're feeding that inside of yourself. You're negative, you're feeding that and you're doing that frequency. Or you can start looking at things, that kind of is curious. That feels good. Oh, what's that? Like, what are you feeding yourself? And what happens is we regurgitate this negativity or we do these things. And from just our naivety, we actually vomit this kind of consciousness out to other people, affecting and hurting and harming other people. So we're used as a lower vibration tool.
Mm,
Mm.
awesome. Too much is given, much is required, and your level of clairvoyancy is off the charts. And it allows you to offer glimpses into the past, I'm sure the present and the future.
Mm.
But Andrea, how do you navigate the ethical implications of revealing, sensitive information? Like our clients, they want to know. And we, sometimes it's like,
Mhm.
wow, do you really want to know this? So this information that our clients want, how do you navigate the ethical
It's
portion
a
of that? And do you maintain any boundaries?
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I have
Yeah,
been doing this long enough where and thank you. What a fan flippin-tastic question.
I know.
I love it. It's such
Because
great.
we
So
both
what
have clients come to us, and we both have clients that come to us, and if I'm performing a deep quantum hypnosis session, and if you're going into a mediumship intuitive session, and the answers that they want sometimes, yeah, you
oh
know,
yes.
what is it about? How do you maintain that?
So what I have to what it all comes down to is the deeper that you're okay, so I'm going to try to do this at a really like so There's three things that I want to do. Let me just, we'll keep on track here. So
You
the
got
very
time.
first
Yeah,
one,
go ahead.
the very, very first one is that it comes first with your inner trust. The deeper that you have gone within love and that you have a barometer of truth within you. When you are sitting in your inner trust and you are in a place of where that it feels expansive, it feels light, it feels lifted, it feels like vitality, it feels joyful inside of yourself, and there is a knowing, and there also is a stability, a neutrality that is inside. And when you trust and you go into the depths of who you also have your team. But it's a reflection of really you and the cosmic universe. But we'll say, just for this, it's your team. And you ask before you speak, is this person ready to hear this? Okay, not in that way, not through my
Mm,
experience. What is
yes.
that person's experience, and how can they hear me clearly in a way that is can be tremendously powerful for them, but in a way that they can receive it? And then there's something that happens when we get to a certain place in ourselves where we trust the collective, that oneness. And when you are really, Jason, when you are pure of love and pure of that, automatically those things get taken care of. I know this is not the answer people want, but they get taken care of themselves. So I'm able to channel, or I'm able to say something to somebody that might be really hard. It's going to be a little bit out of their comfort zone, but enough where they can hear it. Or I've just said 5, 6, 7 tidbits that they can rewind, and at different points in their life that they can hear. Because the truth of the matter is they only will be able to hear little bit by little bit of where, wherever their resonance is. And so to be able to let go and to be able to be neutral and trust the self and what is coming through, and that is a collective consciousness and almost telepathic. So when you go into a consciousness of unconditional love, you also, with that comes compassion. And with that also comes trust. With that comes clarity. With that comes creativity. And I will start seeing in the narrative of like their mind, and like something that had happened to them, or like a father figure, or a past life even, or one of their other places that they are, believe it or not, and on another world in a multidimensional sense, okay, that need to be cleaned up, or whatever that spirit is asking me, and this person's asking me to help them do, or to heal, or to feel their wholeness again, to feel their vitality, whatever that is. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is I don't do one-on-one sessions too much anymore. I don't. So with Vitality Unleashed, what I do is I have modules to prepare people's energy for their own inner truth so they can get to a place of trust, because we all have worked, especially people that are healers, that are star seeds, that are people that are all over, where they have this interaction, and if a person is not ready and you're mirroring a bad behavior or whatever, and they are in victimhood and they can't hear it and they want to become the predator then, or it's a knee-jerk reaction or something like this, right, where they vomit back out at you and you're the bad guy, and then they're talking bad about you, and it might not have had anything to do with you. And thank goodness that we can separate now, right? When you start working on your own clarity, you can start separating yourself from other people's experience. And when you're able to do that, you're able to be more helpful. You're able to be more expansive. You're able to have and hold more compassion and love. So within the modules, what happens is I prepare people for their inner energy, and they have to do, like, they go through the modules and they say check off, and then we go into group sessions where people can ask questions. We do meditations. We do expansive exercises and upgrades, meaning upgrading to a different timeline, which they are now. So what happens is with people when they're in my experiences, they start turning on their clairvoyance. They start turning on here. They start opening up here. They start walking a little bit more deeper in the physical world and still being able to have the creativity. So it's grounded in the world. It's within the earth. So instead of regurgitating everything that's already new, they're actually adding life to the planet because they are alive
Yeah.
themselves. So they're they're creating from a place. It is so much fun to create and
Yeah.
see things
Mm,
manifested that you created from your and watching the synchronicities, then something and going after something, coveting, greed, whatever that it is, going after something that already exists. It is so much more dynamic. It's so much more wonderful. And then you want to share it with other people on how you do this. And it just becomes a light. I feel like I'm going around and I'm just my job. Light. Sometimes I just have to walk. I know it doesn't seem like I'm silent a lot, but sometimes you just turning lights on everywhere, you
yeah.
know?
Well, what I see is your energy, your passion,
Vitality.
the love, the child in the heart space, and that's what
Mm.
I see, and I see, and this should offer hope for anyone who works with you or is involved in any group. You want your practitioner, you want your spiritual coach, you want your private medium that's working with you to have this type of light. And I encourage you to keep shining as bright as you can.
Oh, beautiful. Well, you know what, Jason? It takes one to know one. Mm,
Yes.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
Andrea,
mm.
you're I know. So Andrea, in your work as a medium, you bridged different realms to provide information for different clients. And this, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. Could you share a particular moving or a transformative message you relayed
Oh,
from
there
the
we
spirit
go.
world?
Yeah,
Of
so here
course,
we
we're
go.
going to respect the confidentiality, but
Yes.
can you share some of the things?
How about we do it for your audience right now with everybody and they can hopefully experience this? Would you like that?
I this, I would love it. I would love
Okay,
it.
so there's something that Spirit has gifted me, and so what happens is like so as you're evolving and you're expanding, your light becomes greater and greater, and I'm in just awe. So one of the things that's happening is I just recently I got involved with like this paranormal network. It's really funny, and I was like, hey. You don't want to go just around and like say hi to the ghosts and be unconscious and be scared and da 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 all these things because people again are unconscious with what they're playing with. And if they knew that these things could, suck on their power, they could do this or whatever. And so what happens is I created like an 8 module series like the next day for people that work in the paranormal. Because what happens is people want me to come in and they want me to come in and talk to ghosts and stuff and everything, but by the time I get there, they're gone because the light is so strong. The frequency, they
Yes.
just go. They boom, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone. And then don't invite me to your house and have me sign a thing saying that the ghost can't go or they can't transcend or they can't go to their higher level because to me that's not ethical. That's not right. That's not ethical. It just happens. It's not anything that it's a oh, how can I say it is a um side effect of being connected to the light. So
Yeah.
automatically as the consciousness is moving and our planet is upgrading, we're connecting as above, as below, as heaven as as it is heaven on earth. Whatever that makes people comfortable. What happens is I'm starting to walk upon silently. I'll go to the mall or I'll go to here, and spirit is showing me, and people will get these long looks. Because now think about this, Brian, and I'm going to walk people through this. Yes, people are getting like these long looks in their eyes, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? And I'm curious. And I want to know. And think people are normally just going about their lives and they're not really thinking about anything and their energy is all over the place. And then you have somebody that comes in that from the time they wake up, this is me, this is what I've been born to do. To the time I go to bed, I am always aware of my energy and I am cultivating love all the time
Mhm.
and feeling love. And when it feels scary, I'll go even further. Like the darkness doesn't even come. Like if the darkness wants to come over here, then come. Come. I will be here. I will be right here, and I will look you in the face, and I want to know why you're here in my light. What can I do to improve? mm, Um, Not just improve, but what can I do to bring neutrality, to bring lightness, to bring happiness? So I'm sitting in the mall, and this is happening, and I'm seeing these different realms, people from past lives, their past lives
Mm.
retrieving, soul retrievers coming back into their bodies. I'm seeing the energy in these souls, like in spirit form, coming back into people's bodies. Traumas that people have had around the area that I was sitting before the mall was there or whatever are coming back, and they're returning to people's bodies. So, what I want to do, and I knew this was going to happen. I love that you asked. I loved it. Like a
I'll be
little
your
bit
guinea
before I
pig.
said, "Oh, I love it." Well, we're going to do it for every. We're going to do it for every. So we're going to do past life. And you and I'm hearing, yes, you and I have actually had a past. We've had a past life together, and meaning we just know each
Absolutely.
other.
That's
And I
that's
don't know
how
the
we met.
details of.
That's why we're on
Yeah,
together.
I know. So and it's not what people, so everything's linear. So even though people think of past lives or whatever, sometimes this stuff gets carried over, and we are supposed to develop more consciousness so that we can integrate our
Yes.
souls into this earth space reality and expand for the benefit of the universe, like the love, the that's what creation is. That's what we all are. Our, single cell organisms are always moving, and they're connecting with the outside and the wisdom. So, all right, so this is, I don't know why I'm saying this, but this has to do, whether people can hear me or not, with how I do this. This is what this, or
Mm.
how the spirit works through me. Okay, so connecting with that expansion, connecting with the single cell organisms, connecting with this universal wisdom that is within, that you have pieces of yourself that might be in another time, dimension, space, or reality, that would be more helpful if you brought that in, so you didn't continue this pattern of victimhood. You didn't continue this pattern of, always fighting with, it might be a small thing, it might be a little thing. It doesn't matter. But once you bring that back, all of that it's like taking a root and ripping it all the way out. And then your whole timeline and your past changes, and your experience of where you're going forward changes too. So the way
Okay.
you, yeah, so the way that you interact. Now, I'm saying this so people can know and have a timeline of how they are going to feel. You are going to feel different as we go forward. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm setting also as being somebody that is, and I'm reflecting this from you, my dear. This is really beautiful. I am setting up the past, present, and future, because that is for me a responsible way, but at the same time to allow the wiggle room for people to play within this space. So I want everybody to take 5 deep breaths. You go in 5, hold 5, connect with your heart space. And as you're connecting with your heart space, you are connecting with love, your heart. And I don't mean just the physical heart, I mean the whole solar plex, the whole top of the head. Okay. And then you're holding that for 5 until you can hear your heartbeat, and exhale at 5. So the breath is life force. The life is what brings spirit and body and integration into everything. A simple thing as the breath. And you'll notice people that are less connected or disconnected, they breathe very shallow. So in 5, hold 5, exhale 5. Inhale 5, and close your eyes. Hold, feeling your heart space, connecting with your inner light. 5, out. 5. Another time, we're going to do this 5 times. And every time that you hold your breath, I want you to feel your presence. And then I want you to expand and illuminate. Imagine the brightest light you've ever seen. I don't care if it's golden, I don't care if it's white, and expand that. expand, expand, expansion, expansion, expansion. And I'm actually going to put each one of you, you two, Jason, in your own balls of light. And I'm going to ask that source energy and your divine being of being the powerful being you are to energetically fill that space up all throughout your body. And I feel one more time. If you have to move your arms around, you can do that. That's great too. Okay. Now, anybody and everybody that just connected to it just a little bit. So, this is your life force. This is you. So, you can either give this a little bit of attention, like, oh, what is she doing? Or you can play and experience something new, like yourself. So, if you're giving it like 20% or, oh, what is she doing? Or whatever, that's your choice. But what I would like for you to see, what I would like to see, and for your spirit is give it 200%, give it 500%, where you're illuminating and you're becoming present frequency, your own essence. And the more that you illuminate, the more we can call back. The more that we can call back. Now I'm imagining that each one of you is in your balls of light and you're like a magnet. This outer shell, this love, this light is protective energy enough. You don't even need to use the word protection because love, when you're in the light frequency and your love for a frequency, that is enough protection. I would worry when people start saying they need to protect themselves and things like that. That's when you probably should illuminate yourself. Right. Okay. So, and I'm imagining this outer, like the shell. It's a clear shell of your beautiful light, and it's a magnet. And this magnet is calling back all of your past experiences, your past traumas, and what it is as it goes through the shield. And I've never done this before. This is just what's coming like right now and what I'm seeing. And you all get to create and make this real. This is not just imagination. This is within the spiritual world. If we can look at something that has already existed and manifested and call that real, guess what? If you're not calling what you can call your creativity and imagination and being able to feel and be able to call in your power and feel who you are, and you're putting that on a less scale than what already exists, I would ask you to really think about that for a minute and think about what is more powerful. Is your breath and the way that you exist and the way that you are alive more in power? Is that and the soul, the thing that breathes you in and out, what we're connected to, how you just know things, your love that you have for people. Is that less valuable than the car and the house and the grass? Only you can decide for yourself. So going back in and I see the swirling sensation happening around everybody's little light eggs and infusing the feet. And what I'm seeing is with the infusion of the feet is this is a representation of the earth, the mother earth and the physicality and grounding this light and this being of who you are and this magnet that is calling back all of the soul parts of your essence, all the traumas, things that, and as it passes through and goes into the light space, that it gets cleaned. So just imagine that you're getting all your keys back from here and from here and here. And in order for it to go back into the body in different parts, like I'll see it go into somebody's third eye, I'll see it to go into people's shoulders or in their spine. This is how we can heal. This is one of the many ways. But right now, this is the way that we are healing or feeling more vitality. This is the best bang for this experience right now. Call it back. I'm hearing within the spine and the hips and the spine and the hips, all the way up the spine, all the way up the skull. down the feet, and I'm feeling this force, this pulling. People might even feel this pulling sensation of light coming back into the ground. This is your frequency, your essence at a higher timeline, because guess what? You just magnetized, you just brought back all these pieces of yourself that were all over the place. You brought them back into your aura, your experience, your field, your power, your light, your love, your back, that ailment that you might have had in your shoulder. Yeah, I said it for you. I said it for that person. Maybe that there's some pain in the upper back. Maybe I'm feeling some sciatica and some things that are with our guests out there. Ask for that light to illuminate and go through you and all your nervous system, this light, and call back those pieces. And you might even get pictures of something that you might even not never seen before. Let's bring in the creativity. People are asking for the right brain. I don't know what's going on to the right brain and be able to turn on the creativity more so I can see the truth, so I can hear the truth. So in my crown that I can feel the truth. This comes, folks, this comes with vitality. This comes with owning and knowing your power. And boom, I see like these ripples in this earthquake now in your ball of light, the universe. This is what spirit is showing me, that now, boom, it's like ripples effect. So now you've just integrated. All of this has happened within your blessing ball of light. You've called things back. You've connected to the earth. You're open to the light. And now this ripple effect is happening in your world right now, right here in this timeline, in this new that you will become more consciousness. Wow, that was absolutely beautiful. Big, I asked for big bang for the buck. Or no buck in this case. It's all good for this show, because I really believe that the people that watch this show or that are attracted to the expansiveness of consciousness can hear what I just said for every single one of you, and literally feel this reverberation within yourself and within the universe. Now I'm just channeling, turning. All the minds have been turned off. It's great. Just allowing that experience and allowing the creativity. So that would be an example, Jason.
Wow. And that would be
Yeah.
something that would be absolutely fascinating to be in a group session with you, to experience different feelings that you may have, or to narrow in on maybe difficulties with the body, and being
Correct.
able to hone in that particular area. It just reminds me so much. And I know your work is very, very delicate and special. Reminds me so much of how when we reach the subconscious mind in quantum healing hypnosis, we ask it to focus on a certain part of the body that may be diseased, or a
I love
certain
it.
part of the mind that may not be functioning to the fullest, or whatever problem the person is having. We ask the subconscious mind, which is the connection to source. And so
Yes.
experiencing this with you just brings chills. It just brings chills. You know, many people are seeking to expand their consciousness to connect with metaphysical forces, um, and guiding people through this process. It just has to be a wonderful feeling.
Mm. I hope that we'll be able to see and you'll be able to post later maybe. So sometimes it's like, whoa, what just happened? So the conscious mind, as you know, too, if you're working in this, there's two things that happen. You start experiencing things that you start experiencing wisdom within yourself that you read in books later. because that
Yes.
you have tapped into the wisdom of where everything else comes from. So this to me is this was my experience in life. The other way was not working. Whatever way that I came in, I tried to please, I tried to do all those things, but my spirit and my experience on this earth was like, you're not doing it that way. It's going to exhaust you. It's going to turn you off. You're not going to want to get out of bed. You're going to be depressed, all those things, unless you start exploring your inner wisdom and downloading this universal wisdom that everything is created from already, because the truth of the matter, it's already done. So now bringing forth what I really believe that creation is yearning for itself, and also with the consciousness of the planet, is it wants anew. It wants newness. It wants to breathe upon itself, the expansion. It wants to feel joy. And when we become that powerful, all the things that are already existing that try to keep us down, mm, there's people that have came before us that were men, that were healers, or that were very in their power, that could go into a war and stop the war by just
So,
walking on
Andrea,
earth.
I'm sorry, but so Andrea, in your perspective, and we're talking about wisdom and expansion, how does the expansion of one's consciousness contribute to one's overall well-being, and maybe the fulfillment of their life?
So what happens, there's something that's a newness. So like with anything, when you get something new, like you get it, okay, we'll just go 3D. Okay, new car, you got a new house, woohoo, yes, look at all the freshness. And when you get that house and you get that new car and you get that new stuff, and it feels really good, and the more that positive thinking that you have about it, the better and better it gets. But then there gets a point where the next new thing comes out and you're kind of bored of it, and you want the next thing, or you maybe want to go a little, you need more room, or you need to go faster, or whatever. It's the same thing with our inner world,
Yeah.
except for it's much more. It's on steroids, like 10, 20, 100,000 fold, depending on where you want to go, when you're always being creative and you're creating, at least for what I'm doing with my clients, with people. When I'm walking on the ground, life is always interesting. I don't have to seek outside of myself. Like, I'm in this beautiful place, like you see behind me. And I'm not bragging about it or whatever, but I wanted to live on a tropical island for 1 year. What does it feel like? So it happened. Everything came into, and I want to go to New Zealand, or I want to go do this. And it happens because I'm connecting, and I'm always wanted to create new experiences or whatever. So I don't know, it's uplifting, it's fun, it's joyous,
Yeah.
it's more joyful, it's
Well,
blissful.
we could go on and on. We are well over time, but I want you to talk to the audience about your programs and where people can find you. I have the website listed below, and what you offer, because I like to bring different coaches, different spiritual leaders, thought leaders,
Mm,
conscious leaders,
mm.
mediums. I bring a variety of people on the show that can connect with someone. Tell the people how to get in contact with you, and some of the things that you offer.
Thank you so much. So I think we talked a little bit about that, but I'll go in and thank you for the opportunity to do that, Jason. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
So, vitalityunleashed.live, it's just like we talked to, but we're always adding new modules. So there's 6-hour series that go into health, happiness, relationships, and abundance, or prosperity and money. So it's very about, and spirituality. Okay. And then there's extra modules on there too. So it's got to be all whole based. And what happens is I prepare people creatively to start going within, and to learn about their truth, their clarity, and to start seeing their empowerment from their perspective, from them, not me telling them what to do, but there's a frequency, there's an energy that comes across these modules that changes people's lives. Like they say, sound and frequency. So as my voice is going, or I'll hit on certain ailments, like there's one that's for health that is removing all the detoxing. someone, removing all the metals out of their body. And people go and get checked and their metals are gone without their body through a meditation that is 55 minutes. Okay. There's also ones that with in spirituality, how to connect and restart, refresh your spirit from within, just like what we just did here. That expansionness, that awareness. And people start one module, they feel the shift and they want, even if it's weird or even if it's different or whatever, but they feel something changed. They feel tactilely, or like when you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden, when you've really shifted something, everything else is brighter and clearer and you have a whole new perspective on 5 or 6 different things in your life and you just smooth sail. This is what I get. So this is what the intention is, to get people powered up, get their vitality in their body so they don't have to have disease in their body. When you're vital, you're powered up, you can do all sorts of bad things, even that are already, you drink, smoke. I'm not going to say that I want you to do that, but if you're vital and you don't have anything against these things and you don't have any attachments, then you can still eat your cake and have it too, or whatever. That you can still, when you have vitality and you're taking care of your insides, there's just not a whole lot of wrong out there as far as like the way that you shift about how your health is. Because naturally, from a spiritual point of view, and when you're clearing these things, when you go over
Yes.
to the shot or whatever, you just say, nah, it's not, I feel it. I don't really want it. It's not great for me right now, or whatever. It happens from a place of inspiration. This is what the program does for people. This is what I hear all the time. Inspiration rather than motivation, because motivation's dead. It's kind of dead. Motivation's like, if you have to get yourself to do things and do, that's not the flow of life. The flow is
Right.
inspired, inspiration, feeling vitality and more vitality, and then being able to then start feeling your frequency, and you become this incredible master of your life, being able to bring this in and this in, and it's with joy, it's with love. So that's what we do.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I know the audience does. We could go on. This could be a 2 hour
I know
show,
it
but we
will.
know and I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I would love to have you come back, and maybe you can invite me on your show at some point.
I
But
would
would
love that.
love to. I love what you shared today, and if people take the time. I know that our show went a little bit over. It's a longer episode than we normally do, but it was important, and we still have more to talk about. We have a lot more to talk about, and maybe after the new year, we'll get back to it so we can continue to share with the audiences on things
Mhm.
that really can help change their lives. So, Andrea, thank you for being here. I don't want you to go anywhere. I'm
Mwah.
going to move you in the back, close this thing
Okay.
out. We appreciate you for coming on the expansion of
Thank you,
consciousness.
everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move you to the back. We'll be right to you. So Aundrea Sides, she was thorough in covering everything that I thought she would. And she dove into integral parts of her story, integral parts of just very detailed understanding of how mediumship works and how to pierce the veil of reality, offering seekers profound glimpses into the past, your present, and your future. And with that compassion, with that light, and you have to really, really, really respect and enjoy such a vibrant personality, such a vibrant spirit. And I can't tell you who you should like, but working with a dull person who barely talks, everything is so mechanical and meticulous, maybe that resonates with you. But I like to work with people who are full of energy. You want to project that to your clients, and hopefully that resonated with you. But I want to thank you for um, logging on to the expansion of consciousness and hearing some of the wonderful things that we have to offer. And I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful new year. We will see you in 2024. This is our last show of the year, and how fitting to have Mrs. Aundrea Sides here with us today. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful, wonderful year, as I said again. And we love you. Goodbye.